2025 is not over. There is still so much time to grow your brand on social media, hit your content goals, do all the things you want to do with social media and content. And I know I have been in the headspace lately of like, let's just call it on 2025. Let's have a blank, fresh slate in 2026. Let's just pause all content, pull back, take a break. But no, at the Busy Blooming office right now, we are all in the vibe of messy consistency. Post more, think less, just have messy action to build your brand, build your confidence, and really get in a new habit of posting a little bit messily, not to burn yourself out, but to really show up and grow on social media. So today, I'm so excited for this episode because today I'm going to be breaking down a content plan of what to post for the remaining of the year and also a plan of how to spend this last 6 weeks, month or so of the year really intentionally, because I really do believe that this system, this framework, I think this is probably the 5th or 6th year that I have done this as a content creator. And I swear that this approach to the end of the year has set me up so well, especially in this last year. I did this so intentionally last year, and 2025 for me has been the best year I've ever had, income-wise, follower-wise, everything. And I swear it's from this system. So today we're going to be breaking down 2 different things. I'm so excited for this. We're going to break it all down. And if you're new, by the way, welcome to work. Welcome to Busy Blooming. This is your digital office of social media and content creation. Every single Monday, we all clock in. We're all from different walks of social media and content. Freelancers, 9-to-5 social media managers, influencers, podcasters, content creators on every social media platform. We all come together at work every Monday in the Busy Blooming office and clock in. So if you're new, make sure to grab your desk, subscribe, introduce yourself down below. We will all welcome you in with open arms at the Busy Blooming office. And we have a lot of work to do together today. So with all that being said, let's just get into it. Before we get into the rest of the episode, we need to talk about this AI era that we are all so deep in right now as creators and as entrepreneurs. We are using AI for literally everything. We talk about it all the time over here for using it to create content, strategize your business, strategize your content, write captions. But it's so important to take a step back and think about, what does our audience actually think about all of this AI that we're using? This is why I'm so excited to be partnering with HubSpot and SurveyMonkey, because they just launched their new AI brand trust report. And honestly, some of the findings are something that every creator needs to stop and go read. The report shows this huge disconnect. They did this exclusive research with over 15,000 consumers. And the report will show that although people are noticing AI everywhere, like in their emails or ads, customer service, only about 1 in 4 people actually like the experience. And 82% of people still prefer human connection over AI for customer support. And as creators and entrepreneurs, this is huge and so important to think about. Our entire businesses are built on trust, connection, and authenticity. And this report makes it so clear that trust is the new non-negotiable for us. People don't necessarily hate AI. They just want to know when and how we're using it. And as we know, AI isn't going anywhere, but what will set us apart is how we use it and how clearly we communicate that to our audience. I'm genuinely adding this to my must-read list for any creator, entrepreneur, business owner who is navigating this whole AI shift. It's such a good roadmap for using AI without losing that human connection our audiences care so much about. It's totally free to download, so I'll leave the link below to the full SurveyMonkey and HubSpot report below. It's all in the description. Seriously, go read it. It will blow your mind. And with all that being said, let's clock in and let's go to work together today. Okay, so this time of year, this last 4 to 6 weeks of 2025, I feel like are really, really important to do 2 things. Firstly, and the most important thing is I think you need to really prioritize resting and resetting and recharging as a creator and as an entrepreneur. Going into 2026, that first month of content, I really do believe is so important. How you show up at the beginning of the year. 2026 New Year's content just always does quite well. It's also just an important time. As a creator, as an entrepreneur, you have all these goals, all these things you want to do. And so it's so important to be rested, feeling grounded, strategic, just in a good headspace. So I think right now is such an important time to prioritize that rather than burning yourself out and pushing yourself to the max, giving yourself the creative space, the time and the energy to do all of the resting and prepping going into the new year really strong. So that is firstly one thing that is so important to do right now over these next 6 weeks is really view this time as a priming for yourself and a resting period for yourself for the new year. But also simultaneously, I want you to view this period of time for your actual content, not for yourself as a creator, but your actual content. I want you to view your content as that this is the finale of your 2025. End your year strong as a creator, because that is going to give you so much more confidence than just like throwing in the towel and giving up. And those two things together might not really make sense, because you're like, okay, how do I rest and recharge and then pull back, but also stay consistent and have a good end of year with content? And I'm going to break down exactly how to do it, because you can do both at once. Okay, so let's first talk about what you're actually going to post on social media. So what you want to do for the rest of the year, these last 6 weeks or so, is I want you to pick a template and a series of content that you can batch and that is really, really easy for you to make, because that is really important right now. It's not something you have to film every single day. It's not something that's really time consuming and takes hours and hours and hours, but it's a piece of content for you. And this is going to be different for every single person, that is easy for you to make, whether that is a green screen video, a talking to camera sit down, a get ready with me outfit videos, vlogging certain parts of your day and doing voiceovers. And this applies to short form and long form. Think about, okay, what is the easiest style of content to make? And I want you to pick one style, one template of content, you could say, to do for the rest of the year. This is your basic content for the rest of the year. For me, I would personally say the easiest type of content is talking to camera, sitting, talking short form and long form. Then what you're going to do for the rest of the year is take that style and create a series. And I would pick one of these 3 series to do for the rest of the year. Option 1 is doing a 2026 focus series for the rest of the year, whether that is an example like Beck Stewart. She just started her sit down talking to camera 2026 New Year's prep series. Her whole brand is like productivity and confidence. So that's what her whole series is about going into 2026. Let's say your content is all about career and 9 to 5, and maybe your whole series about landing your dream job in 2026. Maybe you don't do advice content. Maybe you do more lifestyle content. So let's say maybe you want to share a journey that you're going through. So you do a vlog style video or even a talking to camera, getting ready video about a journey or a goal that you're working on in 2026. Maybe it's doing a fun outfit of the day edited to a different song every single day. Whatever it is, that's option 1, is doing a 2026 focus series. I really like this because this content will last longer than just December. Going into January, February, this content will still apply to people. So that's kind of nice. But that's option 1. Option 2 of what you could post is an end of year 2025 end of year holiday focus series for the rest of the year. A good example here is Maddie. She's actually the social media manager here at Busy Blooming. She's doing an amazing series right now, all about holiday shopping, Black Friday, holiday gift guides, fashion focus, outfits, beauty, all of that, called Buy or Buy. I love that. It's all green screen. Let's say you talk about relationships, confidence, and self-love. You could do a series. Let's say Get Ready With Me is really easy for you to do. So you batch a bunch of Get Ready With Me about dating lessons that you learned, or dates that you went on, or confidence things you've learned. If you do food content, you could do holiday recipes or fashion holiday outfits. Or maybe you talk about mental health. So you talk about dealing with family and friends during the holiday season. So it's something holiday end of year themed. Option 3 is to do an evergreen series. This is what I'm actually going to do. So this is not 2026 themed. It's not 2025 themed or holiday themed, but it's just a series that you do for the rest of the year that isn't attached to any sort of theme surrounding 2026 or 2025. It's an evergreen series. An opportunity for this as well is to think about looking back on your 2025. Are there any certain things that you wanted to do, that you wanted to talk about, any sort of topics that you just feel like you haven't had the chance to do? This is the time to do it in a series. So for example, for me, I've really wanted to start talking more about mental health and mindset and self-development. I just haven't had the chance to do that this year as much as I want to. So what I could do is pick the style of content that's easy for me, which is talking to the camera, set up my camera, and just film a bunch of things I've learned and lessons and tips and advice and takeaways for me, for my audience, about mindset and mental health. That could be a series for me. If you're a 9 to 5 vlogger and that's your brand, you want to share your lifestyle working in sales in your 20s or something, you could film 3 different parts of your day to get 3 different videos out of it, and then do a voiceover of something you've learned or what you're going through. If you're a fashion creator, your content doesn't have to be surrounding 2025. It could be around how to dress like your Pinterest board. That's a green screen. Or outfit ideas in general for work. Recreating Pinterest photos for under $100 or using one specific store like H&M or something. But what I want you to do for the last 6 weeks or so of the year is pick a series that is one style of template about one topic that that you find is really, really easy to create. This also could be something you've already done earlier in the year that actually did really well that you could remake in a new style. And the key with this is that it's easy, it's effortless, it's something that's just easy for you to talk about and create. And that is just so important to nail down in general as a creator, because that is what you're meant to do. The things that come easy to you, that flow, that are easy to talk about or create or unpack, that is like the most important thing to nail down. So pick a template, pick a series, and then what I want you to do is either batch out the entire series if you want to, maybe do 10 or 15 videos for the rest of the year, or film just a few videos at a time every time you film. But what I want you to do is get ahead of the content in some way, whether it's one sit down to batch all of it or spending the next week batching in a few different videos. And you guys know me, I hate batch creating so much. But the reason I want you to batch out this series and film it all at once is because of what we're going to talk about now, is that you need to take a break from creating content and consuming content, which we already know that. This time of year, it is the most strategic and productive thing you can do as a creator and entrepreneur is to take a break. That is why doing something that is so simple, like one style of one series for the rest of the year, not to say you can't post anything else. If you see a trend come up that you really want to do, or you see an amazing idea in Busy Blooming HQ, you think you really want to do that, you totally can, but you have this base of content, so mentally, you know, your subconscious knows that your content is taken care of. You don't have to put this pressure on yourself to reinvent the wheel, create all this new content. You always feel like you're behind. If you spend the next week or so batching out some content in this series, it's easy to make, then you can start taking the strategic time and productive time to rest and reset. So that is what I would do in terms of your actual content to post, is what we just chatted about. You could post every day, every other day, 3 times a week, whatever you feel like is good. But then you have room if you do want to post other content. If you feel pulled or excited to create something else, you totally can. But you have this really good base of content going for the rest of the year that you don't have to use all your creative energy for, because you need that creative energy to plan for the next year. So now let's talk about you as a creator, as an entrepreneur, because our content is taken care of. We're going to do this gorgeous series. It's going to be so easy to make. We're going to batch it out over the next week or so, either schedule it out or just post throughout the rest of the year. If we feel excited about creating more content, we will, but our content is taken care of. And now we can focus on ourselves. Setting yourself up for a new year, because 2026 is going to be the best year for you in terms of content and social that you've ever had so far. And I know that there are big things that you want to do, that you're going to do in 2026. And so this time of the year, it is so important to ensure that you are giving yourself the creative space and rest and recharging time that you need. Do not underestimate how much creative energy you have and will use to plan out your 2026. The content you want to make, the brand you want to build, the things you want to do, the strategy, the New Year's resolutions, the systems to create all of that. That takes a lot of time and energy, and it's not just a one-day thing and done, in my opinion. And we're going to all do that together very soon. But this time of year, obviously, the sun is going down earlier. It's getting darker. And I really do think it is such a good time of year to slow down and pull back from creating content and rebranding and re-strategizing and pivoting and posting all the time, and also obviously consuming content as well. If you are feeling really tired and really exhausted right now, it's probably because you are feeling the exhaustion of this year that you've had. I read every single comment that goes out on this YouTube, on Spotify, and HQ. I know that we are all, we've had a year. There has been so much creative strategizing this year and trying content and posting content that has flopped, and then content takes off and then it doesn't. And it has just been constant pivoting and trying and creating and posting for almost 12 months straight. That is absolutely exhausting, let alone all the additional parts of just existing and being human and things that have gone on in your life, things that you have dealt with and overcome. And aside of all this content that we do, real life has also happened in 2025. So 2025, with it coming to a close, you might notice yourself starting to feel exhausted and tired and needing to step back. And that might be why you feel like, okay, let's just throw in the towel for the rest of 2026 with content. So what I would really recommend doing is taking the next week or so to batch all your content, but then take a break. I really, at this time of year, pull back from scrolling. I obviously have to scroll here and there to create the Busy Blooming HQ reports and trend reports and things for Busy Blooming, but I really do have a rule with myself, especially this time of year. If I am not scrolling for trends or posting something, my phone is bricked, or if you don't have a brick, you can just lock all your apps. I only go on social to create or do some work. That's it. I don't just doom scroll right now. It's so important at this time of year to give yourself permission to rest to maintain instead of build, and to really force yourself to not do anything brand new and push yourself to the max. Because again, going into 2026, you want to be rested and really in a good recharge space. And also, if you do have any creative energy or any excitement, you definitely could post here and there on socials, but I would use that more towards 2026 planning. And for me personally, the way I approach the rest of the year, December and November, is that I post content until about like the 20th or so of December, and then until the rest of the year, I take off from posting for the most part, from scrolling, all of it, and I do a full 2-week break on all 2026 New Year planning, which is like the best thing ever. It's so fun. I love this sort of stuff. But try to get in the headspace that for your content, this is the finale of your content, one more series. You can batch it out so you don't have to create content all the time. And then for you, this is the priming era, the resting era, the season where you're going to pull back and rest and recharge and reset from the year you've had and the year you're going into for these next like 4-6 weeks or so. So that is a strategy that I would do going into these next 4 to 6 weeks of 2025. It's not over yet. Don't throw in the towel. Don't give up. Just pick one simple series, execute that on YouTube, Instagram, TikTok, whatever platform is your priority right now. And then for you personally as a creator, as an entrepreneur, pull back, don't reinvent the wheel, rest, recharge, give yourself permission to do those things, scroll less, be in maintenance mode instead of building mode with your social, because you are going to have so much work to do to plan your 2026. So that is personally my 2 separate approaches that go together for the rest of the year. And I think this is just such a nice way to feel confident, feel consistent, feel good, and then go into the new year feeling really, really great. If you need any help brainstorming your series, just head over to HQ. I love in our Tuesday meetings in the chat, I'm brainstorming and unpacking like different content ideas and series. So if you need help, either get help from your coworkers in the comments or join HQ and we can unpack. And I'm so excited to end 2025 strong with you. I'm going to be following this exact plan. And I think we're all set up and ready for the rest of 2025. This is going to be the last episode before our 2025 planning series, which I'm so excited about. But before then, let me know, what's your series going to be? What are you going to do for the rest of the year? How are you going to reset and recharge? Because we all like deeply need to do that right now. The sun is truly setting at like 4:30 p.m. as you can probably see behind me if you're watching on YouTube or Spotify, and it's just the time to be in your pajamas and sweatsuits and stay inside and have a bath and read and not be on your phone, because 2026 is like truly not ready for the busy blooming office. So that concludes our meeting for the week. Now let's get into our next segment, which is the content idea of the week. I'm going to give you one content idea this week, which I have been seeing everywhere. This is a trend going around called My Biggest Fears right now. I feel like this is such a good piece of content for all of us this week, an easy win. I love a text on screen. So if you're watching, I'll put it on the screen. And if you're listening, what it is, it's basically the format is a 9-second video with Tess on screen that says my biggest fears right now. And then there are 3 fears that aren't like your actual fears, but they're funny things. What I would do for this video, instead of just saying 3 random fears, is that I would do your biggest fears for 2026. Because I feel like that's a fun way to kind of capitalize on the end of year content that's trending right now is 2026, holiday, Black Friday, all these different things. And then I would say either one specific thing or a list of 2 or 3 that are so specific to your target audience that only they would get. But I would make it not necessarily about you, but about something that you and your audience would both relate to, because then it's more repostable and shareable. So for example, on the screen here, she says, my biggest fears right now is not getting engaged in 2026. Like if you're a content creator coach, you could be like, my biggest fear right now is not becoming a full-time content creator in 2026. Like that is like a repostable, relatable thing for your target audience. If you're a 9-to-5 corporate creator, you could just say one thing of like, my biggest fear right now is having to go into the office full-time in 2026. Like something like that. I think this is such an easy win for the week. I love it. It's trending. It's 2026 coded and we love that. You also could still do this in like January and February of next year too. So I think that concludes our work today. We did our meeting. We did the content idea of the week. And I think without further ado, it is time for After Hours. I have been obsessed with what we've been doing in After Hours. I love going into HQ and getting your voice notes, your questions, and answering them on the podcast. So I have a couple of those today. So let's get into it. Okay, so first we have a voice note from Kaylee. She said I could say her name. I always keep them anonymous unless somebody says I can say it. So here's the first voice note that we're going to go through.
Hi, Tess. I'm going to get straight into it. I feel like what's holding me back the most from being my most authentic self online is a lot of the mom content and things that I've gone through in my life that I wish I could share and be more authentic about and really tell my story and in language that I would tell my best friend, like how I would talk on the phone with my bestie. I feel like I can't do online because I'm consistently thinking like, oh my gosh, what if my grandma sees this? So I guess my question is, how do you get over that? Because at the end of the day, I do care about what my grandma and my family thinks about me, but at the same time, I feel like it's really holding me back from being my most authentic self.
Okay, well, thank you, Kaylee, for the voice note. I feel like this is a problem as a creator on social media that people don't talk about enough, is that, of course, there's an element which you talked about, I think, a couple of weeks ago, and after hours of embracing the cringe, not caring what people think, and all of that. And that is more talking about people like making fun of you for creating content in general, or, you know, making a YouTube channel that your coworkers think is cringe, or people just thinking you're cringe or weird. But there's another element to this that's a little deeper, which is that when you share something on social media that's about yourself or something you're struggling with or what you're going through, that's like a personal, deeper thing, everyone in your life will know about that personal, deep thing. Like your sister's boyfriend and your coworkers and your parents. And sometimes, I don't know if anyone relates to this, I'm sure Kaylee does, who left this voice note, but it is sometimes easier to create content and like share things about you, your mind, what you're going through, different things online than it is to people you actually know. Because when you're online, you're talking to your target audience, your community, but unintentionally, you're also talking to everybody who knows you. I relate to this so much personally, of just that feeling of wanting to talk about, you know, mental health or things you've been through or different experiences, but even with like income and different things, but you don't, like, I want you guys to know at Busy Blooming in the office to know, but I don't want people I actually know in real life to know, because it's just different when you're talking to your community and your audience that you know just like gets it. And sometimes it's just not worth it. You have to really weigh what is more important to you. Is it more important to you that these people don't know certain things about you, of what you've experienced, or like your grandparents or whoever? Is that more important? Or do you feel like the things you want to share are so important and integral to your brand and your growth and your business and your goals that that is more important than people knowing these things about you? You really just have to weigh the pros and cons and whatever is more of a priority for you, I should say. Think about when you have all the goals that you want, the followers, the income, the lifestyle, all these things that you want as a creator. When you have those things, would you share those things? Is the experience of your motherhood experience or parenting or all of that for this voice note, is that going to be something you want to be a center part of your brand all the time? If it is, you're going to just have to talk about it eventually. And it's going to be a next deeper level of cringe where people in your personal life do know things about you that maybe you wouldn't have shared unless they watch your content. If that is the case, you just have to accept that they will know these things. They might have opinions about you, but you truly, Mel Robbins, just have to let them. Or if you feel like, you know what, these things aren't like actually that important to my brand and my content, like I don't really need to share them anyway, so it's not worth it. So I would just think about, are the things that you want to share that you're holding back from a key part of getting you where you want to go and will be forever a key part of your brand? If that's the case, you just have to post it and let them think whatever they're going to think and embrace the cringe. But this is such an important topic of just sharing deep things about you that you don't want other people in your real life to know, but you want your followers to know. It's just such a real thing. And it's a whole other level of cringe and like a little bit of secondhand, like just this icky feeling. So again, weigh what is more important. Saying those things, will it get you closer where you want to go? Will you eventually want to say them anyways? If you will, just do it now. If they're not that important, just maybe hold back. Another note on this too is you have to remember, like, why are you creating and who are you creating for? You aren't creating for your grandparents, your parents, your siblings. You're not creating for those people, so don't let them hold you back and control what you're doing as a founder or as a content creator. Because if you aren't posting certain content because you're afraid of what your family and friends think, you are posting for your family and friends. So create for your target audience and really try to get more in this like founder CEO mode of like, this is my job, this is my work, this is a really important part of what I do is sharing and being open. So that's like what I have to do. And create for your audience instead of creating and kind of letting your family and friends and their opinions control what you're doing, because that is kind of what's happening. The next question we'll answer in After Hours is from Jen. She said to use her name. So she said, I love this question. She said, I'm currently a coach for women-owned product-based businesses sold in e-commerce. She founded and scaled and sold a product company in less than 5 years, which is amazing. And she teaches other women the same frameworks to do that. So she said her social presence has been nearly non-existent to date. She's kind of always worked through referrals, but never like built a following and a brand on social media. And she's realized that she needs a personal brand, and she's getting into content creation for the first time at 45. She said, while I am producing content with the goal of filling coaching spots, I would also like to begin transitioning into a content creator role. She's basically wondering like how to navigate this, how to kind of create from scratch a brand in more of a professional sense of like a personal brand, not to be like an influencer probably sharing all her deepest, darkest secrets in her life, but more so as a coach, as a businesswoman, as a founder. Like, how do you create your personal brand on social media from scratch? So I love this question. The first that comes to mind in reading this is that LinkedIn, I do think, is one of the most underutilized content platforms for creators. I feel like there are certain people completely dominating on LinkedIn, and it is so underrated. There are LinkedIn influencers who make millions and millions of dollars in brand deals. I do post the occasional brand deal every now and then on LinkedIn. Like, it's definitely a brand deal influencer platform. So it's just, I would definitely check out LinkedIn and LinkedIn strategies. LinkedIn is just a little bit different. It's more opinions and photo, long text based rather than short form video. They do have short form video, but I think the content that really works on LinkedIn are pictures with long text. That's very opinionated, sparks conversation, things like that, which I think would actually be a really great place for Jen to start on is LinkedIn. And using LinkedIn as a place to create a corner of social media that is infiltrated with her hot takes, her opinions through photos and text. Like, I think that's just a good place to start gaining a following. Secondly, what I would say is that I would definitely get on TikTok specifically. I'd probably prioritize TikTok and LinkedIn as a strategy. I would make your entire profile all about your opinions and method. I would do talking to camera video. I would set up probably using like my back camera. I would do a nice, simple talking to camera video all about tips and advice and your method, and kind of give away all your free advice and start to build that authority and trust. But I would really make it as unique as you can. Like, make one specific video but one specific unique opinion, rather than like, here's 3 ways to grow your business, or here's one mistake I wish, whatever. Like, make each video 30 to 45 seconds, casual setup, a nice quality camera on your back camera, filming on a normal camera. One hot take or one opinion or one unique method about you, savable, shareable, and really get practice creating content like that. 2 examples of creators that come to mind also that might help. Erica Reitman, I love. She is actually in her 50s and she's a marketing creator, and she's a great follow. She does very casual content, but it's so good about marketing and branding. Another creator that comes to mind is Morgan. Her username is Morgan Lee, and she is a professional in influencer marketing. And so she has less than 10,000 followers, but I love her content. Like, she's going to blow up. It's kind of what we're talking about. That simple, she's using her back iPhone camera, high quality, 30-second videos, but one tip, one opinion, or one hot take. And that's all she posts. There's nothing about her personal life. There's nothing about even like her life, her routines, nothing. It's just all of her professional like opinions. And I feel like that's the strategy I would do here. The last part of our question says, how do you ensure that it's more me-coded content? And with that, I would always ensure that everything you post, think about, could anybody else say this? Could anybody else post this? If the answer is yes, you need to add a more unique personality element or hot take or something in there. But that is what I would do to start from scratch. LinkedIn, TikTok, that short form video, LinkedIn, the same video, just in a text-based version. Okay, I think that is it for today's episode. A quick side note with the Busy Blooming podcast, just in general, I have been testing out since September this kind of new style of show where we have the 3 segments. We have the meeting, the content ideas, what needs to come across your desk, and then the after hours. I have been loving so much doing these after hour questions from HQ. It's just like so much fun for me, and I hope you guys have been loving it as well. So moving into the rest of content for the year on this podcast is I'm going to be doing a 2026 focus series, which I'm so excited about. You actually have no idea. It's going to be a few different parts all about 2026 planning, your goals, content strategy, everything. I can't wait. It's like my favorite part of the year. And in all those videos, including this one, I'm not going to be doing any specific news because I want the episodes to be more evergreen. So the exact episode we did today, I'm just going to do those moving forward, is like the meeting, one content idea of the week from the Busy Blooming HQ report, and then answering a couple questions and voice notes from After Hours. So I'm going to do that. I'm just going to hold back on the news for a little bit because I do want the episodes to be more evergreen. And also on our Instagram and TikTok, I'll be posting all of the news and updates. Like, for example, Vine is making a comeback. Like, all of that will be on short form instead of the show. And let me know what you think. I always really like to know what you think of the show and the segments and what we're doing. And I've been loving the last couple of weeks of doing this and maybe just holding back on the news for a little bit and keeping all the episodes evergreen. So there's nothing in these episodes that is like time-based, if that makes sense. But I think that's it for work today. So I hope you're doing well. Thanks for watching today's episode. I hope you have an amazing week. I hope you're feeling excited and ready and equipped and inspired for the rest of the year. And I'll see you next week for the first episode of our 2026 planning series. And let's have an amazing week in the world of social. It's Monday. It's going to be a gorgeous week. This is a good week to post your gift guides, your biggest fears for 2026. Start pulling back, resting, thinking about a series that you could do for the rest of the year. And I hope you're having an amazing day so far. Thanks for clocking in with me at work. And let's have an amazing week in the world of social and content. I'll see you next week. Okay, bye.